Welcome to the second part of our plan module. This video will zoom in on the how of planning. And so this is kind of the video that comes before we actually walk you through the template that you will be using and walk you through the different steps that you'll be taking to plan for your very own business venture or existing business. And in this video, I basically want to equip you with some background knowledge, with some terminology that I will be using, and also with a few strategic insights that I really believe will take your planning from just okay to fantastic and strong. So then the process of financial planning is projecting your financial results into the future by using assumptions and estimates. So you're basically going to have a number of input information, an amount of input information. You're going to put it through a template. Step by step, it's going to give you the future results of your company and actually help you have an idea, okay, if X, Y, and Z happens, what will my ultimate result be? And that's then the financial plan that you can go to work with, that you can base your financial decisions on, and that you can tweak as you go along the way. So what are the types of information that you will need in order to go through those steps and get your financial results? Well, there's basically four main categories of financial information that you will need to complete this process. The first category is your income category or your sales category. So here you are going to make some estimations about what the sales level will be and, the monetary value of your sales. Different elements that will affect these estimations will be your price. So how much are you going to charge for your product? The amount of sales. So, how much of your product or service will you sell? And then thirdly, as well, if you are a business that has a number of product lines and a number of different products, you will have to make an estimation about your product mix as well. So how much are you going to sell of each product and how will that ultimately affect the total monetary value? I know and I totally understand that it might seem really daunting to basically just estimate how much you are going to sell, especially if you are right at the start of your business journey. But it can be such a good process to go through because it makes you really question, okay, what goals do I have? What sort of growth rate do I want to have? Because you don't just need to pick a number out of thin air for every single month. You can also look at, for example, a percentage that you want to grow every single month. So you can start with a baseline sales and then say, okay, I want to grow by 20% every single month or 10% every single month, and then actually look at what that looks like in monetary value. So sales might take you a while to really estimate and play around with, but it's such a powerful one to really dig deep into. Then secondly, you will look at the costs. So these are the costs that it takes to run your business day to day. And it's really important that I stress day to day here because we'll talk about a different type of cost in the third category. So you will look at your direct costs, so costs that you incur that are directly linked to your sales. And then we will look at your indirect costs, so your overhead. What does it cost to run your company in terms of maybe some premises that you need to hire, maybe you have some marketing expenditure, maybe you'll hire someone. So all those things that are an overhead to your company that you would need to pay month to month will go into this category. So then the third element of information input that you will need is all around, costs that are bigger and longer than 1 year. We call them our investments or our assets into our business. So it's really important in business, we make a distinction between what it costs to run your business on a day-to-day basis and then what you will need to invest, maybe once into that, then the cost is spread over a number of years. So a good example here is if you're a photographer and you need to buy, $5,000 worth of equipment, then you won't won't just say, oh, $5,000 within the first month that I'm operating is going to be my cost, but you will actually split that cost over a number of years. And when you financially plan for your business, you also need to take that into account. So you will look at the assets or the investments that you will need to go into your business. Other examples of assets would be if you have a car to run your business, or if you have a production facility and you need expensive machinery, they will all go into your investments, into your assets of your business. And then lastly, the last input of information that you will need is all around the financing structure of your business. So it's very important to know when you are financially planning if you are entirely self-funded, or if you will have a loan, or if you will have outside investors, because that will obviously affect how your financial results will be. To give you a simple example, if you get a bank loan, you will probably pay monthly or yearly interest, which will be a cost to your business, which in turn will affect your results. So it's very important as well that when you input information into your financial plan, that you also input information around the finance needed for your company.